What's up, guys? This is Joe from Fit For An Autopsy, and you are watching Interview Under Fire.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a new episode of Interview Under Fire. This is Sonny back here once again, and today I have the honor of welcoming back frontman Joe Badolato, man. So rad to have you return to IUF today, Interview Under Fire. You know, aside from the holiday season, this is an exciting time for you and the rest of the guys over at Fit For An Autopsy with the release of your highly anticipated album, Oh What the Future Holds, that's getting set to drop here on January 14th, 2022. Let me begin by commending you on all the well-deserved reactions this has been getting so far, especially with those jaw-breaking singles that I've dropped. Far From Heaven, Pandora, In Shadows that have been released so far. There's just plenty to unpack about this record. But Joe, we talked about it before the interview started, right? A lot has happened since we last connected in 2019, pre-pandemic. You know, here we are. 2022 is just weeks away. Let's take a deep breath here, man. How are you? Let me start things off by asking you a simple question. And what has 2021 been like for you as we technically closing out another year, venturing out of this long tunnel we've been in for, you know, since this whole thing started? How are you, Joe?
I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. I opened up a barbershop and I moved to Arizona. I did a whole bunch of shit during this pandemic. Sorry about that.
Y'all good, man.
So we did a whole bunch of stuff. We recorded an album. We did a bunch of videos. I opened up my barbershop. I took a little break from streaming for a bit so I could focus on like the two really most important things. And it was this album and making sure that this barbershop is going to be sustainable the moment I leave for tour. Because, you know, my schedule, it's like 6-7 months out of the year we're out there on the road, you know, so I got to make sure this place is well tuned before I get out, you know. And
I know you, I mean, it's what, less than a month away since you hit the road, and I'll see you here in Dallas in January 26th, I believe. Now, a lot of exciting things. People who don't know, Joe and me mentioned this. I actually just saw my barber right before speaking to Joe, so it's kind of fitting that this is happening.
Fitting, wow, we're adding more puns on the table. All right, dude.
Next time, I think the next time I see you, I will have a full out beard. So now I kind of have to set that goal.
Now that's gonna be weird.
Usually,
you know, I'm not gonna even know who you are then.
The clean cut makes me look like I'm way younger. It's insane. I'm in my
good thing, right?
Bro, I'm in my mid early 30s right now. You know, it doesn't.
Me too.
And see, it doesn't feel like it. I look like
I'm 32.
33 here, man. Like
there we go.
Going back now. Joe, man, you know, life as of late, you know, we're talking about many of us have been away from the stage a lot, you know, fans and musicians alike. Now that we're, you know, starting to come back to normalcy, at least here in the States, you know, we're talking about Australia and Europe, everything that they're going through. But Joe, how have you been keeping up your vocals these days? Is that affecting your musicianship? Has anything changed for you routine wise lately, if at all, as far as the musician aspect of things?
I mean, if anything, routine wise, it's just being able to get on stage every day and do it and like tour. The only thing that you miss out the only thing I missed out on was the tour conditioning, you know, keeping myself conditioned by just being on tour, you know. But I've been doing my home thing and I just do it a little more every day. And then I finally got myself like a Mac setup and Logic, and Will hooked me up with these plugins and stuff so I can like just like mess with my voice. And he's, you know, I use this microphone and we record albums with it. So I have the whole setup of how we record our albums, and I get to sit here and just practice and try to work on different voices and see if I can figure out different sounds, or if I can blend two sounds together to make one different sound. Or I think if anything, it's just giving me more time to pay attention to the fact that this is a craft that I really enjoy doing, and I want to like keep progressing and see what else there is to offer, you know?
Yeah, and that's important because I heard a lot of that on the new album, which we'll get into here. Now, you know, Fit For An Autopsy, you know, the band got its inception in 2008, I believe. And I know you joined the band a little bit later in the timeline, but it feels longer than that. You've been at this for a while, Joe. And I want to touch on that basis of like the touring life, because you've done some extensive touring, man. I know we're gearing up to go on this North American tour alongside Enterprise Earth and Jested, Signs of the Swarm, and Great American Ghost, which is one of the most exciting things to see happening again these days. And you doing your thing on stage, which I loved seeing that 2 years ago. I still remember that day so clear in my head, the way you guys just revved up that crowd like no other band can do. I mean, I'm this is the fan in me. I'm just gonna put that out there. But what is it about performing live that you love the most, or maybe even miss the most? Would you say you have a newfound appreciation about it now, considering what's happened in the last 2 years, right?
Well, I don't think I ever took that feeling of being on stage for granted at all. I feel like I definitely miss it every day for sure. I feel like definitely without that, we are missing that connection that the fans have with us and the people that support us have with us at that live show, where it's more real, it's more raw, it's more in your face, and having that energy all in one room and everyone getting it all out together, that really kind of does something to your soul, you know? So not being able to stand on stage and do that with all of our friends all over the world has been definitely very tough for all of us, because if I'm going to be honest, it's the only thing that was my real therapy, where I can really kind of just be myself and do my thing, you know?
Yeah, and the thing that makes Fit for an Autopsy is the live presence that you guys put on stage. Now, speaking of friends, we've had your friends Trivium on here on IUF. We've had Devin Townsend, we had August Burns Red. All these bands came on my show, and they talked about, and you've seen this, live streaming. A lot of the bands, what they've been doing on stage, they took it to the screen for the last 2 years. Every time I say 2 years, by the way, it just feels weird saying that. It's been
such a long time, right?
2 years, and I can't believe like we're here now. But with the live streaming, it opened, I feel like opened up a new venue for a lot of artists out there. I want to get your take on this, because I don't feel like there's any wrong answer to this. Do you think what we all saw during the rise of the quarantined induced live streaming, you're getting to hit the road here soon here, Joe, is that going to affect the touring musician business going forward through your perspective? Like, has it already been affected? Do you still see bands doing something like this once we enter, 2022 and beyond?
Well, like doing streaming, like live events and
stuff
as
like much as we saw it for the last year, do you think it'll carry over, or to be like, okay, now we're back on stage, we don't have to do the live streaming anymore?
I think that there's always going to be the nice option there for it as like something more passive, whether if you're not on tour for a couple months and you want to do something just to, or maybe if you want to have an event. I feel like it definitely opened up some avenues and some doors for that being a feasible thing. But I don't think you'll see a lot of bands really kind of pushing that much anymore. They might do a couple here and there, but probably not pushing it as much, because there are a lot of musicians that are stay-at-home musicians. And these guys can do stay-at-home live shows, where I wish I could see a super group band play a streamed show together, even if they're not in the same place, they're all like mixed well and everything. If there's some way to figure that out to make that really cool, I think that would be something awesome to watch. But I don't think that's going to be prioritized moving forward and having live shows. I think if anything, live shows are just going to explode so much right now.
And I remember, I don't mean to cut you off there. I was gonna add that, Code Orange was one of the first bands, like right when the pandemic hit, right? They did that performance in an empty venue, then they streamed it for the fans. And I've had so many amazing people like yourself come on here and tell me, yeah, I would love to do live streaming. It still gives me a chance to engage with my fans. And some artists would say, oh, I'm not doing shit until all this is over, but there's always, I feel like we could dive into that rabbit hole even further, but it's really cool to mosh in your own room, right? But how much further? Like, I feel like you also have to,
I feel like you also have to think though, too, a lot of these dudes, and I'm the youngest in my band, so that's probably why it doesn't really bother me too much. But a lot of the metal dudes, these guys are older dudes that, are past all that, where they get excited about all these like other things. So they're at the point where it's like, shit, I just lost my complete train of thought.
That's okay. No,
I forgot what we were just talking about.
No, that's okay. Because I want to add, because with the whole live streaming, right? It like, do you want to keep doing it or no? Because another topic, which I think is just as important, is mental health. I actually have friends, personal friends of mine, who don't go to these shows, and they would text me, I don't know, last Christmas, for example, when Behemoth, they did a live stream.
Mm,
and they would text. They've never seen Behemoth live in person. They text me,
mm,
"Hey, Sonny, did you check out that Behemoth live stream? That was so awesome." That
yeah.
person, because of the social anxiety of being in large crowds, you get what I'm
Mm,
saying, like being the mental
yeah,
health, being in large
100%.
crowds like that, they benefited off of the live stream. So that's one factor. Another factor is maybe someone in a third world country won't have access to Fit for an Autopsy
Yeah,
as they
exactly.
normally. Now they can access a live streaming that way. So
Exactly.
I don't know if that's ever crossed your mind, but it's I
Yeah,
think
no,
that's an
you can do
important
like
thing to.
personalized live streams, especially for if you're never able to go to certain countries. Because I know there's certain
Mhm.
areas that we just have never played, and I know we have fans over there that would love to see us play. But if we had a personalized stream for those people, just like shouting out their city or wherever they're from, and we do this live event specifically for them, I feel like that's such a good thing, and I feel like this definitely opened up some doors for that. But I guess what I was saying before was a lot of these guys are older, and it's streaming thing is not really like a thing where they really understand it or they can really get behind it. They're not really savvy with the internet or don't like doing the internet thing. They just like playing their shows. That's where they feel
Yeah.
alive, where it's like real and raw for them. A lot of them feel like being on the internet or doing all these things are just like a fake image of you. And it's like I get that old punk and hardcore mentality. It's I
They're not
100%
old.
get
Just
that.
just point that out.
Yeah, well, that's 100%. Because like I mean, I'm around that, and I kind I kind of get that way too with certain things, and I'm like, God damn it, that just means I'm getting old. You know what I'm saying?
Can I tell you something? Now, this is sending the love to Pat Sheridan, by the way, because I remember
Mm.
when Pat was coming on my show, I asked him, "Hey, you want to do this on Zoom?" He's like, "What the hell is Zoom?"
Yeah, see,
So we did
see.
it over Skype because Skype is what he was familiar with. But I'm just loving Pat right now, just saying that he was
Oh yeah,
great about it.
you
But
get the show your age a little bit.
but yeah, that's kind of just I wanted to piggyback off what you just said. But
Mm,
yeah, live streaming. That's I feel like we could talk about that just even more as much as we wanted to because I feel like
mm,
this is something that will evolve as we move forward. Now, obviously, staying busy during the pandemic is an important thing. Now,
mm,
last time we spoke, Joe, I asked you a question
mm,
on what you would have been if you hadn't been a musician. You
mm.
answered me with barber, cutting hair, which is a proud moment for me, seeing what
Yeah,
you've done since then. And it's again just the fan in me.
yeah.
You now have your own barbershop called Continental Barbershop out in Mesa, Arizona, which
Mm,
finally was translated from a dream into a reality earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken. Bro,
yeah.
tell me more about that because I know you have such a passion for this. It's a long time coming. You've been on quite the journey. How has that all been going for you?
It's been crazy. I made the move. I moved out here right after New Year's, like probably day or two after New Year's. I drove out here with my dad. It took us less than 2 days to drive from Long Island, New York to
Straight shot,
Arizona.
huh?
It was crazy. Yeah.
I drove to Toronto. I can from Dallas to Toronto. I'll probably never do that again, but
Yeah,
I
it
can
was
relate.
definitely crazy. We should have did it in 3 days, but we did it in less than two, so it was pretty wild. But I moved out there January. Me and my partner Eric, he used to play in a band called No Zodiac. He was the drummer. And we took them out on tour with us, them, Lorna Shore, and I think Face Your Maker was on there too.
Yeah.
That was like the first time we like officially met, and we found out we were both barbers, so we just like were shooting the shit about hair. And over the years we've always just like said, I was like, oh, you live in Arizona, my mom lives in Arizona, she's been trying to get me to move out here for fucking years. So I was like, well, if I ever decide to make the move, we should open up a fucking shop. And then
How
we
long ago
kept
was
like,
that?
I was like 5 years ago, probably
Okay.
almost six now. And we just kind of brought it up randomly here and there because I did think I was going to move here from time to time. And then I finally was like, I'm going to make the move. And I hit him up and I was like, we're going to fucking do this. So when I moved out there, he hit me up. He's like, yo, I found a spot that's, I think, perfect. So I was like, where is it? He's like, it's right next to the Nile Theater. I was like, really? The Nile Theater is like the go-to venue that
Yeah.
we all play whenever we play in Arizona. Place is fucking awesome. Um, and I show up down there and it's literally right next to the fucking Nile. It's like we share the back parking lot. It's fucking sick. So, needless to say, at first it was definitely difficult because we opened up right in the midst of COVID. Like that area was just starting to like develop, and it was like a ghost town down there, but it was just in its beginning stages of development. And we're here, what, not 9, 10 months later, 10 months later, and the shop's been super busy. Me and Eric have been getting booked up on appointments. We just hired another barber.
Awesome.
Since Matt's on tour, and it's been intense, man. It's been really, really good at the growth that we've had and the amount of publicity that we've had from TV stations setting us up. Like we've had ABC 15 hit us up to do like a thing on the barbershop, and then Fox 10 hit us up, and I was like, all right, yeah, sick. I guess we're that interesting, right? So
no, it's really cool, man. 2015, that's when you joined Fit, and then that's when the conversation started. Look where you are right now, man. And
crazy.
I wonder if any sort of, man, if it were someone like me, I'd be like, man, I really hope this goes well, because we're doing this during a pandemic. Has that ever crossed your mind? It's like
we were freaking out. Yeah, we were definitely freaking out a little bit. It was definitely difficult. Because opening up a business in general is just stressful. You're throwing a lot of money into it. You're dumping a lot of yourself into it. But then, just once you get through those couple little rough stages of where it's just not busy enough, so like it's finally starting to get into motion.
Mm-hmm.
I've got nothing else I got to do now. Everything's good. We just work. We just show up to work. Yeah.
And that's a proud moment. And I'm glad that I wanted to give you a chance to talk about that, Joe, because I know it's something that you have a passion for. It's really amazing to see the different creativity, like different forms of creativity that feed into the person that you are. Do you have any links that you can plug in for all the listeners to just, visit, or, your website, socials, whatever?
Well, if you want to go check out the barbershop, and by any means, if you want to book yourself an appointment, you can just go to continentalbarbershopaz.com.
Okay.
Super simple. We use Square Booking, and it's so easy. So you can book an appointment easy on there, or you can check out the shop. We have Instagram, Continental Barbershop AZ. Yeah, I think that's all the plugs we got.
You can see the grin on my face. Like, I'm going to make sure I make a trip down there sometime in 2022. I've never been to Arizona, so this is going to give me a good reason to come down there, visit you, I want to see you cut my hair, just
yeah.
Or at least trim I already got my beard trim, but I'm going to have you give it a shot sometime next year.
We could always do something, man.
And another thing, no, dude, it's great to see what you've been doing with Continental, and I wish nothing but the best going forward. Another thing that you've been busy with is, I want to talk about this, considering the time of the year, the Jingle Hells Challenge, because I've been seeing that for your recent posts as on your socials, which is it's something to support the Magic Wheelchair
Wheelchair. Yeah, they do like these crazy like cosplay wheelchairs. They have basically, I watched like a whole video. They basically had a kid who was in a wheelchair dressed up like a knight, and they made the wheelchair into this insane fucking dragon, and they gave him the time of his life around in a park, flying around like a dragon. Like, that was so heartwarming to me. And everything, when they approached me with that, I was just like, absolutely. Like, I don't care. That's so sick. Like, let's do this. I'll scream whatever song you want. Like, let's fucking do it. This is awesome. I think this is such a good cause. So I'm really psyched that they approached me about that. That was really fun.
How can someone like me or other fans can join in on this? Because I know the hashtag Jingle Hells Challenge is something like that. So
yeah, if you go to jinglehells.com, there's a list of songs that you can choose from, and then you just scream one of those songs as a jingle, and just make sure you use those hashtags.
Would we have to sing?
I don't remember what the hashtags are. It's on the website, jinglehells.com.
Would someone like me have to sing and then hashtag?
Yeah, you just have to do your best. The best screaming, rock and roll, anything that's like, make it fun. I always tell people, everyone's like, I gotta make it super serious. I'm like, well, fuck off making it serious. Nothing's supposed to be serious. People take everything too serious right now. Make it funny, make it fun.
Yeah, especially at a time like today. I mean, people are so sensitive about so many things and back and forth.
That's a lot.
And a lot. Jingle Hells Challenge, cut yourself loose, man. Get that charity
100%. Yeah. And for the kids, if anything.
For the kids, man. This is the time of year to do it. I'm just saying.
Seriously.
So I wanted to plug that in. I wanted to make sure that that's something
Thank you,
that
man.
you're
I
doing.
appreciate that.
It's an influence, especially on someone like me and other listeners out there who can actually pitch in on something amazing like this. Now,
Absolutely.
speaking of something amazing, we talked about everything, Joe, except the new album. Let's get to that, right? This is Fit's sixth album, Oh What the Future Holds, drops January 14th on Nuclear Blast Records. I want to repeat the words here. Sixth album before we get into the nitty gritty of What the Future Holds, because this is the follow up to 2019 Sea of Tragic Beasts, which that album, good Lord, it was just a tremendous effort through and through. I feel like it really put Fit on the map. It was long overdue for you guys. You guys have really set the bar for what you guys have musically created, from melodic deathcore, progressive deathcore. There's other bands. I don't know if you've seen it coming into the scene, trying to use that blueprint. I mean, personally, I thought it was the best record of 2019. I said it to you then. I'm going to say it again right now. Here we are, 6 albums in with Fit, knowing the success of Sea of Tragic Beasts, Joe. Was there any such thing as pressure for you from when you decided to sit down and write again for a new album, or even just a follow up, considering we are well into the band's career at this point?
There's always a huge pressure when going into a new album cycle for sure. But I mean, with the way that things have been rolling with us in the studio, when it comes down to me and Will in the studio, I actually look forward to it so much because I look at it as, all right, this is where I get to see if all this hard work I'm doing home is paying off,
Yeah.
So I kind of just get excited. I fuck the nerves at this point. Now I'm like over the nerves. I'm just like, at first, yeah, I was nervous as shit. The first time I'm recording, I was standing in front of Viart, like CJ and Marshy, just like standing there. I was like, "Can you guys leave? I'm fucking trying to do this. I'm already nervous as shit."
When you have someone like
Will.
CJ, I think I can understand. But
yeah, I'm
man,
like, what the fuck, man? I know you're a beast. Let me just fucking pretend like I'm somewhat like that, And I was like real nervous at first when I first joined, but now it's like I get in the studio and I just have fun. Me and Will have so much fun when we track. We have our parts where I'm just like, oh, fuck, give me a minute, but we have it's so much fun. There's no bullshit. It's creating. And I feel like this time around was so much nicer because we did have the time off because of the pandemic. I was able to go to the studio and record for 2 weeks. I went for a week. I went home, listened to some of it, and then went back and finished it. And then I flew back again, actually, and did a couple more things to finish touch, and then I was like, dude, that's the most time I've been able to like sit down and hash down the record. Most of the time it's just I have like 5 days.
Yeah, and
I do an entire record in 5 days, and I'm like, all right, 11 songs, 5 days, got it, let's go.
And from the opening title track to Far From Heaven to A Higher Level of Hate, which is my personal favorite off the record, by the way, to Savages, all the way to The Man That I Was Not. I said this, I know you guys realize you one up yourselves again, and this is also the longest album. Will Putney, I'm gonna quote him here. He said, "It's clear that we don't sound like we did when we started the band." I think that's a good formula for songwriting. It shows that you guys have grown. It shows that you guys have evolved, and you've done it again. It's just another impressive addition to Fit's catalog. I mentioned the melodic deathcore and the progressive deathcore. I also want to add post deathcore, if that's even a thing.
Because I'm down with it because I love that shit, man. Like that's what I grew up on. I grew up with a house full of women, man. So it was just all pop music, R&B, and anything that had like singing in it. So I was super into metalcore growing up. I wasn't super into like the dark, heavy, super death metal stuff until like I started understanding it. I went to shows and I was like, oh, it's fucking heavy. Yeah. Okay, I get it. It's fucking heavy. All right, it's different heavy. It's cool. It's heavy. But I like my singing shit still, though,
But that was the saying that was a twist of everything that you are, and there isn't really any way to label you guys, which is great. There wasn't a song on this album that didn't make me want to drop down my windows and make my neighbors want to hear it from top to bottom. And I live in a quiet neighborhood here in Dallas, and I know they already know at this point this guy's a fucking metalhead. What the hell is
I wish Higher Level of Hate was a single, but I understand why.
Oh,
I love that song.
One more month, man. One more
I
month.
know.
We're almost there. We're almost there. But walk me through this, man. How much did things change from when you first started composing on this album to where you ended up finishing it? Did a lot change in between? Did nothing change? Was there already a specific sound you guys had in mind?
We had we definitely had like a specific sound in mind, and we definitely had a couple voices that we wanted to try out. That Will was like, hey, see if you can make like this with like this kind of bot. I don't know, but I feel like you could do it and it would sound sick, but try to keep that in mind when you're like trying to figure out a voice. I'm like, all right, cool. So I love that shit. I love going in with
you
the
see,
whole
I don't have my
voice.
beard. I can't stroke my chin because you can see the grin on my face because your vocals. I thought you went above and beyond on the last one, but you blew me away yet again. You had the
Thank you.
cleans, you had the gutturals. They were utilized to perfection. I felt like they complemented each other, which was a step up. I got so I don't know if you got this from Will or anybody else who's heard the album yet. I got Chino Moreno vibes. So I don't know if that's a new thing for you, if that was an influence on this record.
Huge influence for me for sure. And I when that part happened, he was like, I kind of want to feel I'm feeling like this like soft whisper. I'm like, oh, hit record. Let me hit you with that Chino bullshit real quick. Hold on. And I was like, yeah. This felt really good. And then we just like he was like, that was actually fun. I was like, yeah, let me do it for real though this time. This is, I did like a fucking really dumb, hilarious take on it, but yeah, that part was so much fun to do. It has so much like body in it, you know. There's so
Yeah.
much emotion pent up into it, and I feel like that's something that we've been doing a really good job at recently. Is just trying to capture the emotion of everything, the guitars mixing with the vocals, just to create this like I'm so sad, but it hurts feeling, you know?
Mm-hmm. And it definitely resonated with someone like me. You made me actually go back and listen to the new Deftones album, Ohms, that was released last year.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
had to after the song, I had to go back and listen to some songs, and I was like, this is crazy. Like the things that you were able to do with your voice, Joe, man. I can only imagine what it's going to be like in person when you. Uh,
I'm getting in ears now. This is the first time we're getting in ears, so I'll
not
be able
not
to hear myself. I'll
Yeah,
know what I sound
and
like.
not only that, but the fans, for when they actually hear the, I have friends who are die hard Fit fans, and I mean die hard, and they collect like literally every vinyl you put out. Shout
Yeah,
out to Tyler, by the way, because he's one of your biggest fans out there.
that's awesome.
I,
Shout out Tyler.
I think I'm gonna see him tomorrow at some point this week at one of a local shows, and I'm just gonna tell him, man, if you think you've heard everything from Fit, think again, because this new album
Yeah.
is it's a thing of beauty. And a big part of this record that I really loved is the sound, because the sound, it was sharp, it was polished, it was very authentic. It had that punch to it, if that makes sense. Because
Mhm.
I'm an audiophile these days, Joe. I'm very picky on how I want my music to sound, the way I want it to sound. And of course, Will Putney, produced, mixed, and mastered by him over at Graphic Nature Audio. If anyone isn't familiar with Will at this point, I mean, A Day to Remember, Every Time I Die, Body Count, Knock Loose, the list goes on and on. Talk about him, man. I'm sure there's that sense of comfortability and chemistry in the
Yeah.
studio for you, Joe, and the guys, knowing that you had someone like Will
He's the
working on.
Dr. Dre of
Dude,
metal at this point,
you have
man.
that
You
you
know?
have that level of convenience, I feel like, than any other musician out there.
Dude, we have a game genie. I've got Will Putney. What can go wrong?
And I know that you talked about this last time. Like, he pushes you guys, like, hey, Nat, that wasn't good. Do it better. No, do it better. Do it better.
Well, that's the thing. That's a huge thing, and that I love that he can be like that with me sometimes. Like he'll hear a couple takes, and he's like, "I think you can do that one better." I was like, "I think I got that one. I feel like that one's pretty solid." He's like, "I'm not." There's something in your voice that he knows there's these little things in my voice that happen that I don't mean to do, that just happen, and he likes those, and he like will wait for every opportunity where he can just pull that out. And then sometimes he knows he gets that when I'm actually frustrated. So he's smart,
that can
man.
be a good thing, because
that's what I'm saying. He knows what he's doing. He's smart.
And in a way, when you have someone who elevates the people around you, that's who you want, you know, and that can actually go on to someone like you. Like, it elevated you as a musician, Joe. But look at this, you're elevating yourself in your barbershop with the people around you there. So you get what I'm saying? So I think that really feeds into the creativity and a growth of a person. Now, between writing and structuring the songs and the production process, like you just talked about, keep all this in mind as I'm asking you this, because I was really excited to talk about this. Even the album art, the lyricism throughout Oh What the Future Holds. I feel like at a time like today, it resonates, right? You know, you have a song like Far From Heaven, which is it's in the name, it's about the world we exist in is far from heaven, and then you have a
Hmm.
song like In Shadows, which is one of the most recent singles. It's about discovering your true self through the lowest and lost points in life. I
Hmm.
began to think about the tangibles of having a theme to this album. Like, is that true? Like, how important are themes to you, Joe? Did that play a big component on this record?
I think we just try to keep in the theme of just like anything that's humanity based.
Hmm.
I think we try to keep a non-biased writing as well, where it's just kind of like it's all human pains that we have, just kind of like just drawn to light, kind of very artistically with those words. Will Putney does a lot of the lyrics for the band, a lot of the lyrics.
Yeah, because you
So
guys did have that single, was it Fear Tomorrow, which was released
mhm,
right when the pandemic hit. I feel like that song was like a pretty cool transition almost from
mhm.
C to Tragic Beast to Oh With the Future Trolls. I don't know if you felt that, but I kind of saw that as like that transition phase from, hey, here's what we're gonna get you guys ready for. Bam. And
Yeah,
here's the new singles for the new album.
100%.
So
I
so
think that a lot of our writing too, like we saw how much of an impact Black Mammoth had when we released that song,
gosh,
and
that song.
we try to touch on things that not a lot of people pay attention to,
Hmm.
and we try to just bring those to light to where it's some sort of raising an awareness to where you can understand and see from other people's point of views on what people can do to each other.
Yeah, and
You know,
again, I said it before. At a time like today, it really resonates, and this album, talk about kicking the new year off with a bang, man. A new album for Fit for an Autopsy. But Joe, we've covered a good amount of ground on this awesome conversation, bro. Thank you so much for just sharing everything about who you are. It's always a pleasure having you here again. I can't
no
wait till we
problem, of
do this again in
course.
person, bro.
Yeah.
Everything that you told me, everything that we talked about from A to Z, what is the most rewarding part for someone like you who is now at this point in their career? Another way to see this, at the same time, you've been involved with so many other different aforementioned talented people, artists,
Mhm.
colleagues throughout that timeline that we have discussed. I'm excited to see where you go from here. Here we are with the new chapter with the sixth album. As a musician, as a frontman, as a barber, hell, as a human being, do you ever just stop for a moment to take a look back at how far you've come?
Yeah, very recently too. I was with a lot of family during Thanksgiving, and I haven't gotten to see them in like so long. I don't get to see a lot of that side of the family, so it was a lot of reminiscing, and it was just like, "Do you remember this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I remember all of it. I'll never forget everything that's happened to me in my life." And I'm very, very proud of myself for not giving up on myself so many times when I thought I was going to.
Yeah.
I'm so happy that I had my friends to back me for every situation to where I would be able to push myself mentally and physically through everything. I always had someone good there for me. Plus, I always had my mother. She's the best.
Hey, shout out to the moms, man.
Shout out
And
to moms, man. She's honestly the best. If I ever need anything, I always talk to that woman, and she's just got a way with words. I guess it's just because she's my mom. There's just something about it.
I think it's really important to look back on those things because it, I feel like I have, colleagues of mine, and, I went to film school for 3 years, Joe. So I've seen like the way when you're successful, you kind of lose track of yourself the higher you get. I think it's important to kind of just push everything back and look at it from the outside and kind of remind yourself why you do what you do and kind of just exhale
Yeah,
and to kind of just go back into it. I don't know if
yeah.
you've had a
Well, because
moment to do
especially
that.
especially for a time from now, it's just like we've been away from it for so long that I forgot that what I do has like this impact.
Yeah.
Um, so I guess if anything, it should be more of like, I guess for a lot of other musicians, I'm hoping it's more of like a humbling experience for them to like realize that you're a musician, and like if you got to figure out what else you want to do too, because sometimes you won't have music forever. Like you won't be able to do the band forever.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe like, but look how many bands are around for as long as they are.
Yeah. And look how
It's
many
not
bands kind of had to call it quits because of the pandemic. That's
exactly, and it's very, very difficult, and a lot of people's mental health got kicked in the ass this whole pandemic. Like literally everybody.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm no
we
stranger
can't-
to that.
Yeah, we can't single out, and nobody had it harder than anybody else. Just we all, it was fucking rough for everybody, and it doesn't matter how severe it was. I think everybody needs to be a little bit of sensitive to certain people and
Yeah.
like their feelings during this whole thing. Because dude, it's a shock. You go from being around people all the time to like even people working remotely at home. Like you work home in your bedroom all the time, and then like you have you haven't been out in the world. Like you want to get away from work, but what's away from work? You're at home where you work all the time. There's no escape anymore. You can't go out, right? So
Yeah.
it's just like you're a prisoner in your own head. But I think this is definitely a good push for everybody to like figure out who the fuck they are and what they want to be and what they really want to do with themselves.
Yeah, and a lot of people have shown their true colors, fortunately and unfortunately, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you know, yeah.
I've had my shares, but I want to add that you're a testament to that, because seeing the growth that you've been through, starting your business, doing the things you're doing with music, and making a positive impact on people. I mean, I think it's I think it's really cool for you, Joe, to like just stop, like I said, look back on what you've done, because it's important. It's the reason why you do what you do. I don't want to
Yeah.
sound like like, hey, look at what I'm doing, but it is important to, hey, I accomplished something. Let me take a moment to really appreciate what I did, and take it
exactly
going forward. Now, I think we covered everything, man. Now, before I let you go, I talked about
Is
the
this
surprise.
a surprise?
This is the surprise.
Okay.
All right, here we go. You were waiting for that the entire time. I know.
I was waiting for it.
I'm gonna do something here called the lightning round. Everybody says, "Oh shit!" when this happened. Why are y'all nervous? Here we go.
Because you just did the pause. When you pause, it's no shit moment.
That's the point. Now here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go down the list. You're gonna have to just think quick on your feet. You have to pick one or the other. I'm gonna ask you a question. I'm gonna ask you a list of questions. Some of them are simple. Some of them are just downright stupid. But that's the best part about it. All right.
I'm fucking ready.
I think I got some good ones. So here we go.
I'm fucking ready.
Here we go. I'm ready. All right. Got to be in that mode. He's not even looking at me anymore.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I was just scratching. I'm ready. I'm thinking.
All right. Red or blue?
Red.
Vegan or meat?
Meat.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Lord of the Rings or Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones.
Who's your favorite character?
In what?
In Game of Thrones.
Oh, in Game of Thrones.
Who's your favorite character in general? Oh, me, duh.
The mountain.
Oh yeah, great answer. All right, Mexican food or Italian food?
Fuck you.
That's gonna be the best
Italian,
bit ever.
Italian.
All right, Super Smash Brothers or Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat.
Okay. Now, I know you're a gamer. If you could have one power of any video game character, who would it be?
Any video game character?
Yeah.
Fuck. This is supposed to be quick. This is hard. I mean, I gotta say just Superman, because I just want to fly. Whatever character allows me to fly is sick. Superman. Just give me Superman's powers.
Now, if you had to live in the world, think about this. If you had to live in the world of the last game you played, what world would it be? And would you survive in it?
I was just playing Fortnite. Fuck yeah, I'd survive. And I'd rip 90s around these kids. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, your Twitch streams, dude. It's just a thing of beauty. All right, man. Hip hop or classical music?
Hip hop.
Halloween or Christmas?
Christmas.
I feel like Halloween kind of sets up Christmas. That's
yeah. Christmas. I like Christmas because it's just such a beautiful time. Yeah, I love the lights. I love everything. I'm not into the religious side of it, but like
same here.
The lights, the meaning, and just love.
Get in the spirit.
There's an essence of December where you're just like, mint smelling stuff and warm hugs and coffee and just all awesome things. Yeah.
Hashtag Jingle Health Challenge. Let me just remind you.
Hashtag Jingle Health Challenge. Yeah.
All right. LA or Chicago?
LA.
Sea of Tragic Beasts or The Great Collapse?
You piece of shit. Great Collapse.
All right.
Sorry, I called you a piece of shit. You're not,
dude. That's okay, man. Hey, man. We gotta be able to talk shit to each other, man. That's what it's all about. We're buds. All right. If Voldemort offered to give you a hug, would you accept?
No.
Okay, that's good. Some people have thought about that question a lot. Some people would say, yeah, it would change. What's his real name? What's his Voldemort's real name? I can't think of his real name in the Harry Potter.
But Tom Riddle.
Tom Riddle. Yeah. See, if you hugged him, maybe it'll change his trajectory. But then again, we probably wouldn't have the Harry Potter movies like we would. You know, that's
I'm just not gonna hug a motherfucker who killed off my favorite character's parents. Piece of shit.
Oh shit. Okay, yeah, that's a good point. All right.
I'm just not gonna hug him.
Would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals?
Fuck, I would talk to animals for sure. And absolutely. That's what I would much rather talk to animals than humans. 100%.
I've had some people say, by the way, my dog is actually sitting right behind this door.
Oh,
so anytime, like if I'm yelling, he'll think like I'm crying or something like that. So that's why it's door shut. I've had guests who say, well, yeah, I can talk to my pets. So yeah, why not? I can speak every language in the world. So I
mean, every language in the world is, I would 100% love that, because especially if you're traveling, that's fucking awesome. But I would much rather talk to animals.
Now, there's a time machine in front of you, Joe. It says the destination is Woodstock 99. Do you take the trip knowing what transpires there?
Woodstock 99?
That's the one with Fred Durst and Limp Bizkit and the riots and the fires and the assaults.
You know what? Fuck it. Yeah, 100% I would. Absolutely. And I'd be stuck there forever, right? And live my life on from there. Yeah, 100%. What a great time to be alive. What a time to be alive.
That was like a 3-day festival. I don't know if you've seen that HBO documentary.
Insane.
Woodstock. It's crazy. I think it was more about not putting the blame on Fred Durst, I believe, and showing what actually. Here's the thing: if you were going to put Limp Bizkit of all bands in front of angsty teens and you play the song "Break Stuff," what's going to happen?
They're going to break everything around them. Yeah, 100%. That was the most rebellious time for everybody. You know. Yeah. Everyone was really stepping out of their shell.
All right, last question. Man, this is gonna be a hard one because I've been putting you on the spot this entire interview. 3 video games you could think by the top of your head that you love and recommend.
Right now, love and recommend. Fuck it. This is like the hardest time because everyone that I know is having a really hard time trying to figure out what game to play. But Halo fucking slaps right now. The new Halo Infinite. The multiplayer is awesome. The campaign just came out. I need to jump right into that very soon. Rocket League.
Yeah.
Rocket League fucking rips. I've been playing a lot of Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction, man. They came out the remake for it, and you know, 20 years later, I still can't find a fucking burr rune. You know what I'm saying?
Have you played? Now, this is just coming from. Have you played Ghost of Tsushima yet?
No, I haven't. I wanted to try that game out. I heard it's an amazing story.
I think I'm more of an RPG player these days. Like I
love RPG,
bro. I still
New World was cool for a little bit.
Yeah, I still play Skyrim. That game is still like it's like 10 years old, but I still play that game. But Ghost of Tsushima, man, I highly recommend you play it. I remember Doom Eternal came out last year too, like right when the pandemic.
They have a Hogwarts MMO coming out.
I did not hear about this.
There is going to be a Harry Potter massive multiplayer online role-playing game.
Holy
where you're in an open world and you're a wizard and you learn all these spells. You create your wizard. All of it. Yeah.
Is there a set time for this, or is just
it's supposed to be next year? So, man, 2022.
A lot of fun stuff to look forward to, man.
I'm fucking pumped. The last time I played a Harry Potter games were fucking awesome, by the way. If anybody ever played those were so much fun. It was such a fun adventure game.
I can't remember if I played it on PC. That was like the first Harry Potter game.
Played it on PlayStation.
When like the Sorcerer's Stone came out at that time. That was the last Harry Potter game. Yeah. I'm a PS4, PS5 type of guy. But man, Joe, this has been an honor, man. I know we're clocking about an hour here, but dude, again, this has been amazing. Do you have any just last words, just any shout outs, anything you'd like to plug in as far as Fit For An Autopsy or anything
make sure you pre-order our new record, Oh What the Future Holds, January 14th, everywhere. Come check us out on tour. We have that tour coming up in America. It's going to be amazing. If you're coming to the Europe tour, come to that fucking Europe tour. It's been so long. Come support my barbershop in Mesa, Arizona, Continental Barbershop. Follow me on Twitch for whenever I decide to start streaming again, twitch.tv/JoeBad. I'm on TikTok, Joe Bad FFAA. I can't believe it. And it's crazy, dude.
That's good. People are
just
telling me I should start a TikTok. I was like, should I?
Honestly,
is that
man,
even for me?
It's like, a whole different world. No one gives a fuck about the band over there. I post
is
Fit
it
For An
like
Autopsy stuff over there,
I
and I
feel
get
like it's like reels or something like that. At least you on Instagram.
Yeah, it's just honestly, TikTok is meant just for comedy, and I don't think anything else. I think it's only meant for funny shit. Because I post anything about my band, 6,000 views. I post me fucking screaming a Mariah Carey song, 1.2 million views.
Holy
what?
Fuck. Yeah, I remember that Mariah Carey cover you did. What is it, last year before? You should just release one album where it's just you covering. Like, I'm talking about a legit Joe album.
Find me the musicians that can do it like correctly, and I will fucking do it. But I know no one that wants to do that.
There is no way I'm the only person who's even.
There's so many people that keep asking me for the covers. I'm like, yeah, I'd like to do it, but I just have to find musicians that want to do that. And I feel like everyone I know is definitely not into that.
Can you imagine with this just new stuff you're doing with this album and then providing the?
I just need to find a young kid who's really sick of guitar that's just ready to have some fun with me. So.
Hey man, this podcast is going to be on all major podcast streams out there, so everyone's going to hear that. So hopefully,
good luck. Hit me up, DM me on Instagram, and fucking just send me a song.
Joe, I'll see you on January 26th here in Dallas, man. This has been great. Everyone is listening. This is Joe Badolato from Fit For An Autopsy, man. The legendary Joe, man. Always great to have you on. What the Future Holds drops January 14th, Nuclear Blast Records. Give him a follow. Do me a favor and do Joe a favor. Buy the records, because the bands can't do it without your help. It really goes a long way. And really I love the artwork. You knocked it out again of the park this year. So
Adam is the fucking man.
He is the man. And everyone is listening. This is you can Interview Under Fire. It can be heard on all major podcast streams out there. Check us out at interviewunderfire.com. Joe, I'll let you go, man. This has been awesome. We'll stay connected on the socials. I will talk to you next time, my man. Stay safe and have a Merry Christmas. Have a New Year. All right.
Happy holidays. Take it easy.
All right, brother.
Take it easy.
Take it easy. All right. Later, man.
Later, dude.
Bye.
Terrorized, angels from death, permanent threat, there can be compromise. Never forget, a life of neglect leaves one dehumanized. Constant regret, the senses are right, but the mind is paralyzed. With the lust for earth to find, and suffer and blind, I sort of fall inside. Descend into the sea. Reborn as fallen God.
Hey guys, thanks for listening to Interview Under Fire podcast. If you guys liked what you heard, please subscribe and share our channel. And please leave a 5-star review, as that helps us tremendously. If you'd like to check out more, visit www.interviewunderfire.com or our social media channels on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And finally, we want to thank you all for the support you've been giving us. Keep it burning.